Well, welcome once again to Madrid and to Toncho Tours videos. Sorry about the lighting, it's the end of the day and the sun is hitting weird, so my metering is not very good. We're at the Plaza de Salamanca, Plaza del Marqués de Salamanca, who's the fellow in the statue back there. It's a fairly boring statue, there's not much to it, because we're in the heart of the barrio de Salamanca. We talked about this last spring, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it because this guy is a very colorful fellow, he's a very interesting fellow. His real name was José Salamanca, and he's a very interesting fellow. He became a millionaire 3 times, and 3 times he lost his fortune. He went back and forth. Fascinating character. And one time, one of these times he had lost all his fortune and he had to evade the country for tax reasons. And he was in Paris and he met Alexandre Dumas, author of The Count of Monte Cristo, and they were chit-chatting, and after a while Alexandre Dumas said, "Listen, what a pity that I've just published The Count of Monte Cristo, because if I would have known you before, I would have based my character around you, and I might have even called it the Marquis of Salamanca." He became a Marquis because he became very good friends with the Queen Isabel II, mid-1800s. Anyway, so this fellow, he comes from Alicante, he comes from the coast, from the Mediterranean coast. He comes to Madrid in search of fame and fortune, and he locks down for his first fortune the monopoly on salt. The government gives him the monopoly on salt, and so he becomes a millionaire, and then through shady investments and iffy deals, he loses it all, and he goes back and forth. One time, the tax authorities came to search for him. He had a massive palazzo. We talked about palazzos last week here in the barrio de Salamanca, probably one of the most impressive palazzos in Madrid. And he had to go into hiding into the Belgian consulate. And the prime minister was furious and breaking all rules of diplomacy, broke into the Belgian consulate, and they searched all over for him. The Belgian consul was quietly and calmly sitting at his desk. And of course the authorities, the tax authorities, the police searched for Salamanca everywhere except under the desk where the consul was sitting. So after they left, he evaded back to Belgium and whatnot before coming back to Spain. He then was one of the founders of the railroad in Spain. He made the first railroad from Madrid to Aranjuez. He boasted that the last few miles he was going to build a rails out of solid gold, which of course he didn't, to please the Queen. Obviously he was very good friends with the Queen. And anyway, so then his last project was to build this wonderful neighborhood, and he's a visionary, so he chose to build this neighborhood in grid style, which was very innovative at the time. You also find it in Barcelona, in the Eixample neighborhood, and of course in New York is famous for the grid system. But he was the first one to do it, and he was an innovator. The Salamanca neighborhood, this is right in front of me, is José Ortega y Gasset. It's called the Milla de Oro, the Golden Mile. It's where all the fancy shops are. So Madrid is full of colorful characters. Give us a ring. We'd love to talk to you more about them. So that's what we do in our tours. We chat a lot about historical figures and interesting fellows. So I hope you heard me okay through the traffic on the buses and with my little phone video. So thank you very much. Give us a ring for a tour, and all the best. Bye bye.